Hello. Let me know if you can hear me. It seems dark. Is it dark? I think it's a little dark. Hang on. Let me bring some more light. This. There. Yeah, has there been some weirdness going on with the chat? There has been some weirdness going on with the chat bots, isn't there? But as long as they're working now, I don't know. That's not something that I have any control over, unfortunately. So all I can do is disconnect and reconnect the channels and hope that Restream does its thing. If you can hear me, let me know. I think I can see the meter bouncing. Yeah, well here I can also make more light. It's since the switch to using my laptop, I think there's something got weird with the contrast of all the cameras. I'm not sure why. But let me just do this. If I can remember where it is. Here we go. More light now? Is that better? Hi. So, doing the thing. As usual, we are continuing on with our spooky season builds, despite Andrew's protestation on the last podcast. And if you haven't heard, podcast is going on a bit of a hiatus. So I've got a really busy couple of months, like my October and November. My November particularly is just lots of stuff, including some medical stuff that I just can't reschedule or put off or anything. So I got to take care of that. And then of course December, everybody's busy. So we just decided, since we were done the top 5 list, that this would be a good kind of breaking point. And so yeah, we're going on a hiatus for the podcast until January, and then we'll be back. So never fear. Music's a tiny bit loud. Okay, we can handle that. Hang on. Yeah, I can see what you mean. The mic is down a bit. Do this. You tell me. Does that sound good? I'm looking at the meters. The meters look like they should. The mic does seem to be down a bit in the mix though. And I've actually got that as high as it will go. So I don't know. I'm also low energy today. So I don't know. Hopefully I won't talk. You can just listen to the music and then. Hey Demon Dreamer, nice to see you. Yeah, things and stuff. You get my preview window back here so I can actually see what's going on. There we go. Yeah, so Halloween builds are continuing. I have finished, as you may be able to see, although it's quite dark, the bat from yesterday. So we got the bat small. And the neat thing about the bat small is because of the way I attached the wings. I know this is quite dark. It just looks like a black blob, but if you just because of the way I attach them, they're actually, you can turn them. They're on ball joints, but you could actually make the wings flap just by moving. Like, that's pretty good. That's, because these are 3D printed, right? So they've got a little bit of weight to them, not a lot. So it's not anything that you would notice, but because of that, and because they're on a kind of a loose attachment point, they could flap. So that's pretty good. I think that's darn cute. So that bat small. So we are doing the second Halloween small I'm working on right now, which is a goblin. So I just finished the machine bit of sewing the skin, and I'm just about to do the fingers for the hands. So that's where we are now. And then it's going to be some exciting hand sewing. So maybe Zep will show up when we can get the hand sewing alert. Oh yeah, I'm super low energy today. I don't know, just the past couple days I have been in a funk, and not the good kind of funk, not the funky kind of funk, but the Marvin the Paranoid Android kind of funk, It's fine. Everything's fine. But I'm not hearing any music at all now. What's going on? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's still going. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly how this goblin's going to go, but we'll just see. You know, it's going to have a nose and some ears, and other than that, I tend to not plan ahead too far on these things. I just like to kind of like let the moment decide what it's going to be. So you spent the afternoon playing the ukulele. You know, I appreciate a good ukulele. It's an important instrument in jazz history. So well done. There are 2 new chords. Nice. I haven't played a stringed instrument. I used to play the guitar. Not in many, well, a couple decades now. So, you know, I'm sure I'll just get right back. I was never very good in the first place. Like I knew like 5 chords kind of thing. But, you know. Oh, so many things. So this will be the last of the regular Halloween like shop builds, and then next week I have a commission, as I talked about before, doing a werewolf small, which will be fun, and I have to do some weird patterning for. So we'll see how that goes, and then after that, that will be the final Halloween builds, and I'll be back to regular shop builds. So yeah, I was thinking actually, based on some conversations we've been having on the Discord, join the Discord, hashtag join the Discord. You went golfing yesterday. You know, golfing gets a bad rep, first of all, because it's so associated with, you know, like right-wing businessman type. The wolf hasn't been made yet. The wolf is next week. That's common. But I think I like the concept of golf, and I like playing pool. So it's a very similar, like it's about, you know, angles and how the ball hits and stuff. So, you know, it's kind of ukulele, yeah, ukulele. I didn't even know there was types of ukulele. See, we're all learning. I gotta get through my coffee though. This is vital today. Isn't so tenor would be like a mid size? I'm assuming like, you know, soprano is small because it makes a higher noise. I'm guessing. I don't know. What do I know? Speculating about ukuleles like we do in normal people's worlds. I think ukulele is a darn fine instrument. I think if I was going to pick up anything, you know, I was debating getting a ukulele just because it's the right size as a prop guitar for a puppet, right? You know. All right, what I have to do now, one bit of machine sewing. I got to do the finger lines on the hands here, and then we are going to be hand sewing. Hooray! So let's see. I think we'll just go to the shoulder cam for this. It's just a really quick. This isn't worth. I would have to dig out the close-up cam that's sitting over by the 3D printer. No, there is nothing printing currently. I don't have anything to print. We got ukulele experts in the crowd. Nice. Okay. So I just have to just make the little finger line on the hands. Fake fingers. And hope that my needle doesn't break. These needles have been breaking if you look at them funny, and I don't know what's going on. I think something might be misaligned in my machine, and I have no idea how to fix it. And that's a big problem. It is a majorly big problem. Actually, I want to put this in the other way around. All right, cross your fingers because this is a lot of back stitching and going through like a seam at the top here. So there's gonna be a lot of material in the way. Just finished my first puppet from Project Puppet. Sack puppet, nice. Thanks for all your help, especially for the grandkids. Excellent, well done. I haven't done a sack puppet yet, actually. Like of that style of the big bag style. It's a lot of fabric in those, a lot. I've got a couple of patterns, but never had occasion to make one. Do you have a local sewing shop you might be able to ask? Yeah, actually, there's I think there's like a craft sewing place quite close to me. Actually, I may pop by and so hey, this is what's happening. Help. Anyway, cross your fingers. Here we go. If there's a big bang and possibly a bit of metal flying around, I should probably wear safety glasses. I forget it. Make sure my actual glasses are up. All right, here we go. Intense. Everything's fine so far. No bad noises, no bad noises. Nice and slow. Okay. that went okay. I'm loving the ukulele chat. We are nothing if not a diverse crowd. See, there we go. Nice little finger line there. All right. One done without major incident. Can we get lucky a second time? Whew. Stressful. A harmonica. Awesome. We were in Kensington Market this past weekend, which, if you don't know, in Toronto, it's this kind of one of the few bastions of actual culture in Toronto. It's a lovely little street market. All kinds of shops and all kinds of vendors and stuff. A lot of vintage clothing stores, which is the reasons I tend to go. And there was a blues band playing outside the place where I'm going to get my suit. I'm going to get a good suit finally. And they were pretty good. There was a really great harmonica player with this blues band, and I was like, yeah, it's nice to walk down the street and hear some good blues with a real intense harmonica, you know. It's good stuff. All right, so now hand sewing. Yay. That just shows like that, you know, Kensington Market is one of the last bastions of culture, because it is possible to still hear live blues music in Toronto, which we tend to be far too trendy for that kind of thing. Next weekend is Kensington Market Jazz Festival, and there are a couple of acts that I may be going to check out. If nothing else, it's nice to just be in Kensington Market. I like Kensington a lot. An excuse to get out for a day and wear a nice hat. Lockdown plus ADHD, plus a lot of time university music. I got a lot of hobbies that I'm half good at. Oh, you and me both, my friend. So I was trimming off the seam allowance here, and then we're gonna stitch up the darts, and then we'll cut out the mouth plate and sew that in. And this is just standard small. This fabric, this fleece, is, I believe, the last of my frog pattern or frog dye from not Weird Kid, but the other place, Puppet Pelts. So it doesn't have the pilly texture. It's the mill dyed stuff. I didn't have time to go and toss it in the soy or in the washing machine and get it nice and pilly. So it's just going to be what it is. I haven't learned how to do contact juggling, but I have the balls for it. There's a joke in there somewhere, kid. Let me tell you. Insert your own joke. Ba-doop-ch. All right. So I'm hoping to get this goblin done tomorrow morning, if not today. It's possible to get it done today, I think, depending on how the ears and nose go. And then, because I got to do a little bit of weird prototype patterning on this upcoming werewolf small, because they have like a jutting lower jaw with fangs in the bottom, so I have to like rework how this pattern goes. I believe Puppet Pelts is going to continue I haven't looked in a while, but last time I did look, they are still carrying Fuzzell. I believe they own the imprint or the copyright or some kind of legal thing for Fuzzell. So I believe that is true. And according to our friend Tom Stewart of, still got this thing, the Creature Works Studio, the people who bought it, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, are quite good. They're a good fabric manufacturer supplier, so you can feel confident, I believe, in the future of Puppet Pelts. But that's just, I haven't actually looked. It costs so much for me to do like the import fees and the exchange rate that I tend to try to not buy from the States if I can avoid it. So that's why, among the reasons why I get the Weird Kid fleeces, because at least it's just the cost is the cost, and I also happen to prefer it anyway, so it worked out well that way. National Fiber Tech, thank you. Hey, speaking of Tom, NFT. Oh no. Very good point. The good kind of NFTs, the National Fiber Tech kind. Should I need a ukulele playing, harmonica playing, puppet show? I mean, you know, we're part way to a decent jazz band. We could make this happen. Listening and building. Me too, Tom. Me too. Oh, it's been a week. Let me tell you, internet. It's always been a week, hasn't it? It's never any different, really. I wouldn't mind it if some of the Halloween puppets actually sold now. That would be cool. I wouldn't complain about that. It's a way of saying that they haven't. Things are slow again. It happens. What else is new? Welcome to 2023. Is that one of those necklaces that flex? This thing? No, this is I've had this necklace for longer than some of you have been alive. I bought this when I was working in a goth club back in a previous incarnation. I was bussing a club called Death in the Underground. Yes, that's what the club was called. Folks who worked there were nicknamed the Death Squad. I was on the Death Squad. And there was a jewelry vendor who would come by. There was like a market that we used to do every now and then. And a jewelry vendor was selling some of their work. And these are horseshoe nails. This is like a rib cage made out of horseshoe nails. And I absolutely love it. And I haven't worn it in many, many years. And I've been kind of getting more sort of gothy elements into my look, as it were. You got to do that hand motion when you say those words. getting back to my roots a little bit, you know. And so I was just looking at their stuff, trying it on, and I tried it on. And a friend of mine who was there looked at me and went, "Well, now I can't picture you without that. You have to buy it." So that's the story of this necklace. It's my favorite necklace. So if I'm not wearing a tie, I'll be wearing the necklace. Go on goth again. You know, it's been thinking. It's like the whole, elegant fashion, jazz age style thing that I've been doing and goth do not naturally gel together, but I think I can make it work. I want to make it work, so stay tuned to all my fashion updates because I'm sure you really care. Anyway, here's the exciting hand sewing part. The going ghost. What I really want is a good frock coat. I used to have a real thing for frock coats. And I've got a couple, and I was saving them because, as we have mentioned before, I have lost quite a bit of weight in the past couple of years. And I had, gained so much weight that I wasn't able to fit into either of my frock coats. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put these aside, I'm gonna lose weight, and then I'm gonna be able to wear my frock coats again. And now they're too big. So I can't, now they're giant on me now, so I still can't wear them. How do you like the frog as color and Fazelle? So this is Nyla fleece, but this is the frog color. And I don't know if they offer it anymore, to be honest. And black nails. Yeah, I used to do my nails all the time, but like for doing this job, forget it. It would never last 5 minutes. So I like frog as a dye color quite a lot. In fact, I got this because I was gonna make another Kermit, and then I never did. So as a color, I like it a lot. I don't like the mill-dyed Nyla fleece as much as like the Weird Kid, or when you just toss this in we talked about this. We just toss this in a washing machine and you get the nice texture. I just didn't have time and I got to get this build done, so. They offer it in Fazelle. Okay, cool. I've talked about this before. I personally do not like Fazelle at all. I have no interest in working with it ever again. I made the Oracle out of it. And I made Millie the Possum out of it. And that's it. I will never touch it again. I can't stand it. It is not soft. It's not stretchy. It's like plastic. It's like the loop side of Velcro. It's not nice to work with. I do not like it at all. It looks fantastic. Okay. Let me just establish that. It looks great. I don't like working with it. It feels awful. So see what you think. That's the thing, right? Like I can't judge that for you. You have to decide if you are good with how it feels. It looks fantastic. I wish everything looked like that, but for me, part of it is how is it to work with? And I do not like working with it at all. Please don't get mad at me, NFT. We're still friends, I promise. I'm sure they're really worried about what I think of them. Nice breeze coming in. It's actually a bit on the chilly side. Nice fall day. This is exactly what I like. Your grievances on the Discord, sure. I'm talking about Blender on the Discord all morning. That's how are all y'all. Oh yeah, Scarlett's got the email even. Good call. One thing I was thinking of doing, just based on some thinky thoughts I've been having. Next year, it's too late to do this year, but next year, because my special thing tends to be the Halloween builds, right? I have like a Halloween collection, as it were. The smalls are one of them, and also now the premium ones. And I've been thinking, like, instead of putting them up when they're done, which is what I usually do, of taking a page from the Ragmop and Goose model. Ragmop and Goose, is that right? I don't know. For some reason, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, I'm live. I'm looking it up now. And waiting until all of them are done, and then kind of doing like a countdown, like a timed thing to, the Halloween collection is ready to launch kind of thing. And the advantage, not just for like hype or demand or any of that nonsense, I probably should care about that stuff. I don't care about that stuff. To my detriment, I'm sure. But anyway, the advantage is because I think I would like to do some photography with the entire collection, like all at once, and me in the shot as well, right? I think that will be a nice kind of annual tradition, like the Halloween collection portrait. I think would be really neat and fun and good for the portfolio too, right? So we will see. So like I said, the Nosferatu, 2 smalls, and the Frankenhuman are already up on the shop. So it's a little late to do that now this year, but next year we'll look at that. You hate that Kevin hates Fuzzell. I don't hate Fuzzell. I just don't like working with it. It looks fantastic. It absolutely looks fantastic. I mean, the Oracle is made out of Fuzzell. How could I hate Fuzzell? If I hated Fuzzell, I wouldn't have made one of my main characters out of it, right? How fast can you backpedal? I might do a Krampus this year. I think I'm like, because I used to think about like, oh, I'll do seasonal ones every holiday season. I'm just not a Christmas person. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm a Halloween person. From everything we've been talking about, you can probably guess that. Krampus was my like concession to doing something for the Christmas season that was still me, you know. So I don't know. There aren't a lot of variations on that pattern that I can do. So maybe I'll do a completely different style of Krampus, because that's the thing about Krampus. Krampi, right? They're Krampe would probably be, with the AE, probably be more correct. But just doing a completely different, different style than the Max Fleischer style one that I have been doing. I've only done 2 of those actually, and Scarlett has 1. There are 2 things I don't like about F3. It curls when you cut it. Oof. Like little plumes of shiny fibers. Yeah, poof out. That's what I found with Fuzzell as well. There's just like snow of the little tiny fibers everywhere. It was a lot. I really didn't like working with it. So I won't. Maybe you will say, well, sure, there are lots of ways to approach it. We'll see. I think maybe coming up with doing a Krampus, but doing a totally different kind of Krampus, I think would be more to what I would be inclined to this year. Can y'all still hear the music? I don't know if it's just me or I can't hear the music at all. It seems to be going. I just can't hear it. Yeah, I'm just not a Santa and reindeer kind of Christmas person, But that's just me. This is why The Nightmare Before Christmas was like the perfect If you look at Phil Fletcher, he used Frog Fuzzel. It looks great. Oh, nice. Yeah, was my audio low in general? Because I'll have to work on that. I can't do it right now, unfortunately, because I gotta do some filters and stuff. And things changed around. I'm using a new dock, and there's a whole lot. So I don't know. Turn your volume up for now. I'll work on that after the stream, though. Thank you for pointing that out. I'll talk up then. Hey, it's Gus. But hang on. Maybe I can do something about it right now. Let me see. If I add a gain filter to the mic. Oh, hang on. There's noise suppression on this. Should there be? What if I turn that off? I'm also 50, so it could be my hearing. Hey, I just had 55 last week, my friend. Don't get me started. I'm just going to put a simple gain filter on here, and we will see if it can, because I can see the meter. The meter is like I'm hitting the yellow, which is where I should be for vocal, but a lot of my vocals are in the green, so we'll just. I gotta get a proper compressor, is what it is, and I don't have a proper compressor. That should be better. Let me boost this up to 6. All right, that should be. You should be able to hear me better, hopefully without distortion. Which means that I can turn the music up a little bit. I still can't hear the music. I don't know what's going on. I gotta figure this out. I didn't have time to mess with it before the stream, unfortunately. I was too busy picking out his shirt. Yeah, no, you're right. I can see the meters are a little bit not where they should be. I will fix that for next week, fear not. The audio is much better than when it sounded like you were fighting the music. Yeah. Suddenly it's back. What is happening? Like I didn't touch anything and suddenly the music came up. Koya, nice to see you. Hello. I'm doing, it's slow. I'm having a slow, everything is slow. Everything is slow and bad. How are you? Everything's not slow and bad. Some things are slow and bad, not everything. I'm hand sewing, so things are definitely slow. More exciting hand sewing. I don't know why I always end up saving the hand sewing for the live stream. I really should try and not do that, because this is not instructive or entertaining. Now I'm DJing live. Really, right? Like, at least I can hear the music now. You can probably hear it too much. Means I don't have to talk. You can just listen to the chill beats. This will not be my first choice. Here's the inside scoop. When the stream ends, this music goes off. This is not what I listen to when I'm actually doing my work. This is just because it's like some of the few bits of music that I could actually use without causing robots to panic. What I should do is get the close-up cam out and demonstrate, because what I am doing right now is my inverse baseball stitch that we've talked about. Seth on the Discord has been asking about that. I am gonna do soonish some FAQ videos and where I demonstrate things. So I've made 2 promises for videos I will shoot. One of them is demonstrating the difference, start to finish, about how to mount how to put the skin on. So, we've got the 2 methods. We've got fold and glue and we've got stitch and glue. The fold and glue method is the kind that BJ Geyer and most professionals use. The stitch and glue is the style that Adam Krutinger teaches and that I use all the time. Different people prefer different methods. I will demonstrate both because there's often questions around that. So I'm not good at fold and glue. So what I end up with will be interesting. But I want to do like a comparison video to kind of show here's the difference and here's how you accommodate both of them. So that's one, and the other one is me illustrating very clearly the stitch I'm doing right now, which is my inverse baseball stitch. I'm just giving away all the secrets. Yeah, Tom, so like, where you finish the mouth plate and then you put the skin on right side out and you just fold and glue the lip line. As opposed to the Adam Krutinger method and the method that I use all the time, which is where you stitch in the mouth plate and then you glue that and turn the whole thing, right? So I believe, Tom, if I remember correctly, you actually use fold and glue for, this is what I call it. It's not an industry standard term or anything, but that's what you do. You fold and glue it, folding and gluing, folding and gluing. I often refer to stitch and glue as the Krutinger method. I don't know if Adam would be happy about that or not. Truthfully, I don't think Adam even knows who I am. He doesn't know me from Adam. That's an expression that people use. And by people, I mean old people. The Muppets don't fold either. I thought they did, and that's why all of the pros use it. That's interesting. I am very bad at it, so that's why I never use it. I'm much better at the stitching of fabric mouth plate in and then gluing it and turning it. My Kermits are done like that even. Which is not how you learn the right way of doing it. Spoilers, there is no right way. It's whatever works. I always thought they did, but I talked to a couple of Muppet folks and they said, no, fold. Interesting. I gotta tell you, I have wondered that myself because the times that I have seen actual Muppets in the fleece, as it were. And when I'm at a museum, so of course I'm getting right up close and checking them out, and it's like, you can tell the fold and glue method a lot because there's a raw edge, right, to the fabric. And the Muppets don't look like that. The Muppets look much closer. It sounds egotistical to say, and believe me, I'm not trying to be egotistical, but it looks much closer to the kind of thing I do, where I do very, very small, very even stitches, and then turn it, right? They do this so it's easy to get into the head if they need to. Right. You just hit them with a hairdryer. Yep. Stop hitting Muppets with hairdryers. Yeah, that's another thing I should probably do a video on, demonstrating, excuse me, how you can reactivate Danger Honey. because that is something you need to learn if you're going to do the stitch and glue mouth plate method. You don't always get it right on the first go. Sometimes things will be misaligned, things will be shifted a little bit. So the nice thing about it is you're not locked in, and you have another chance. You can just heat it up with a hairdryer, pull it apart, try again until you get it right. Sometimes I try 2 and 3 times before I get it right. They usually do it for fur, but when they don't, they just Sharpie the fabric line. Woo! That's hard to take, Tom. Hey, this is what we keep talking about, right? Like professional puppets, like a lot of professional puppets, you just got to get it done. Like you're on set, the clock is ticking, money is draining. You got to get it done, get the shot. It's not about making something that will last. It's about making something that will last for the shot, right? So a lot of it's held together with spit and wishes. And that's just the way it is, Get the shot. Everything else is secondary. That's another reason why I don't think I could ever work at that level. Because I panic easily. When I'm under the clock, I would just be a nervous wreck the entire time. I use a fabric marker and trace the lip line first. Yeah, that's the thing. It's good to have a guide, right? Because then it's a little bit easier. Like, even if I were to be able to do it evenly, it's not even about the evenness so much as I just don't like the raw edge, right? Like, I like when you stitch it and it's got a nice clean finished edge. I'm just funny that way. Now thinking about fold and glue is faster, right? This you gotta I've seen people machine stitch a mouth plate in. I can't do it. It's very fiddly, and I just don't have the control to do that. So I hand stitch all of my mouth plates, so it does take a lot of time, but the key is how the mouth is cut. You want to cut it with one smooth slice of scissors. Yes, and this is another reason why we need to have good sharp scissors that you only use for specific things. As I have talked about before, there's a reason for the bucket of scissors. Oh yeah, safety bins for sure. In the Henson archives, I was reading something a while ago, and they have like one of the original Kermit repair kits. They used to keep on set. I would love to see what's in that thing. I mean, probably nothing that you wouldn't expect. Scissors, thread, safety bins, But still, just to know that this is an official Kermit repair kit. Spare pupils. You know what? You're probably not wrong. It's really windy here too, and we're on different continents. I close up the Sesame Parks character mouse, and they are all just glued in. Yep. Like you said, go with what you know. Yeah, there's no right or wrong way. It's what you prefer and what you have an aptitude for, right? And that's it. There's no hard and fast way. I'm sure there's more ways to do it that we just don't bother with. I'm sure there's some puppet builders out there who do it a completely different way. I can hear sirens. They're finally, at last, they're coming for me. One tutorial talked about using a curved needle to sew the mouth plate. If you glue the fabric with. So yeah, you can. I don't find I ever need to use a curved needle for that. I do use a curved, like upholstery needle, for when I'm ladder stitching from the outside. It's just much easier to get a smaller stitch if you can do that. So I use a curved needle, such as this one, which you can definitely see very clearly when I'm ladder stitching, like a feature on, like a nose or an ear or something. If I'm stitching that on, that's when the curved needle comes out. Because it's running a pump and dump, yeah. There's no right way, but my way is definitely wrong. It's spoken like a true puppet builder who's a little neurotic. Aren't we all? This would normally be very relaxing if I wasn't trying to be entertaining. This is often my podcast listening time. I think I'm all caught up on everything, actually. Let's see. Do I have any podcasts that I have not listened to yet in my list? Oh, apparently I do. We Are History. Here we go. What's this one on? Ooh, I got two. Race for the Bomb and The Glamour Boys. I don't even know what that is. There we go. Like I was saying, the only one thing puppet builders can agree on is that another builder is doing it the wrong way. Yeah. That's not, no, there's no. I mean, you know me, Tom. I don't know. I'm not interested in competition. I had public and vocal criticisms of Mr. Krutinger when he embraced NFTs. I stand by that. But never, there's no bad blood. At least not that I've experienced. I'm sure once you get into the weeds, yeah, I'm still a little nobody. Like, nobody knows about what I do, except for you kind folks. I'm still just that guy on Etsy, Okay, fine, I'm wrong. Well, like I said, I'm sure there is, but that's human beings working in the same hemisphere, right? Like, that's just people will have conflict. That's just, nerds have opinions. I don't know if you noticed, but they do. Yeah, hashtag drama. Yep. And you be right to start beef with me and Tom. You'll never divide the Canadian puppet building community, which at the moment that I'm aware of consists of me and Tom. Oh wait, no, and Allison from Very Happy Puppets, and I guess we can include Weird Kid. Yeah, the Monty Python. Oh, that you know, that's among the best Monty Python skits, I think. Is you're here for an argument? No, I'm not. Yeah, our numbers are dwindling. Uh-oh. I've kind of been noticing that in general. That's one of the reasons why I'm being so neurotic lately is numbers not go up, numbers go down. And I'm that bad. Not quite sure why. But hey, doesn't really matter because this is what I do and this is what I will continue to do. So I'll be here as long as you are. And then probably after. What's your opinion of selling at local art shows or conventions? I've been thinking more about that. As Idiots Keep has talked about, there's been some chat on the Discord about that, and I think something like that is probably in the future. Just more outlets would be helpful. For me, it's always a problem of like having enough stock to warrant that. You know, I wouldn't want to go with like 4 puppets kind of thing. You know, it's like it's probably not worth it. I don't know. We'll see. Don't tangle, don't tangle, untangle. There we go. Whew. That was close. Value of your portfolio may rise and fall. I mean, wisdom. Yeah, the other thing is I'm a bit hopeful for the future as well, just because like I think just figuring out new places to go and new outlets and new, you know, I think what's happening for me, at least personally, is that I've kind of hard capped the number of people that I can bring in just based on what I'm doing, right? So the secret then is to just do other things, to do more things, or do different things, right? Problem with conventions and such is price. Usually the average citizen doesn't want to pay the $300 for a puppet, unfortunately. I know, that's the thing, right? And so then you have to like educate people. It's like, well, look, there's, you know, 20 to 30 hours of labor in this. How much is labor worth, right? But that's the thing. People are so used to mass-produced things that they don't even think about it, right? To them, they look at an object and not what goes into making that object. Sell your soul to Santa. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Crowds have been trained. You know, like at a convention, they're walking around looking at all this mass-produced stuff. So that's why, I don't know, maybe like arts and craft type fairs and things like that are the kind of thing I'm thinking of that do focus more on a handcrafted kind of thing, right? Yeah, exactly. The materials are the least of it, Tom, as you know. That's the thing, right? It's like, it's not about the materials. It's like, so you want me to work for free? Is that it, right? Like, what I actually do here means nothing. It's just the cost of the fabric. Like, in that case, get the fabric yourself, right? Like, my reply was to educate this person more than school. Absolutely, you are correct. I should probably do a video on that, just like on, here's why things cost what they do, right? That's why I took a big chance with the Nosferatu as the first quote-unquote premium puppet, because even then I'm working at like just barely minimum wage for how many labor hours are in that thing, and that's not even including the cost of materials. There's probably about $100 worth of materials in that at least. But you just can't charge what like a Swazzle Studios would charge, because no one in the mass market is gonna pay for that, right? They don't understand that, yeah, it's worth it because it took this many hours to do it, right? So it's a niche thing, and it'll always be a niche thing, but I also think that it can grow. That's my other side of it, is that like it doesn't have to, it'll always be small, but it can get bigger. And I think we're seeing a bit of a shift. I mean, thankfully the maker movement in general has been good for this kind of understanding of like, oh look, handcrafted things are a different category of thing, right? You can talk to people about that a little bit easier now, I think. But sometimes people just get in this consumer headspace, and there's no getting around that. So they're not your customers, I would have said buy them and make it yourself, yeah. It is always a very delicate balance. And the thing is, like, when I started, I knew that going in. So that's why I spent so long trying to come up with fabrication methods and processes that would cut down on the labor hours and yet still result in a decent looking puppet, right? Costs $127 in material to make a frog puppet and 18 to 24 hours to build it. So even if I charge $10 an hour for my labor, I'm hitting even. Yeah, exactly. A new customer can charge the big bucks. So that's the thing I don't do, or at least not yet. I'm a little bit like I probably could, but I'm nervous about taking that step. I don't have enough confidence in my own skills to say yes, I'm ready. Also, Tom, you've been doing it so much longer than I have. I am still new at this. It'll come in time. It's gotta keep on keeping on. Think I want more coffee. Hey, a whole hour into the stream and we're still hand sewing. Takes longer and more detail oriented. I am presently doing a custom job and doing sculpted hair and such. And so far it's taking 32 hours of work at a total and I'm not done. Yeah. Yep. I can imagine. And like we were talking about this a bit on the Discord about how, like, yeah, every artist is their own worst critic, or at least should be, and often is. But it's equally important to recognize when you do good work. And I was saying, like, the key is balance, right? Recognize when you do good work. Also recognize when you can do better, or feel that you should do better. This is the only way you're going to be able to grow is accurate assessment, both of the positive and negative stuff, right? So that's why I feel like, I'll probably eventually get to the point where I'm confident enough to kind of go for the big stuff. But until then, this is a good training ground, right? That mouth could have been done by now. Just glue it in, come to the dark side of the fabrication. Yeah, I know. Well, this isn't even about. These are the darts down the side. These are, and I'm not even sure why. I know why I'm doing them like this. I'm doing the darts on the side hand stitched, and yet they're machine stitched middle seams, because I don't like doing darts on the machine. I don't have enough accuracy to do a nice curved dart, so they always end up with a weird corner, and I don't like it. So I always hand stitch my darts. It's just what I do. The mouth is yet to come. The mouth is still, there's the mouth right there. I kind of got over my, oh God, I have to do so much hand stitching thing with the Nosferatu, because there is just so much hand stitching in the Nosferatu. It doesn't seem quite as big a deal now. Although it is, because again, it's time consuming. Look, we're an hour into the stream already, and I'm still just sitting there hand stitching. But that's when I have to like get in my head and go, this is what's the thing that's yabbering about time is capitalism. It's one of the things I hated about working in an office, was the only thing that matters is speed, right? Is getting it done quickly. And nothing else matters. Quality doesn't matter. Just getting it done, this goal-oriented thing. And I'm like, you know what? Nah. That's what was nice about building the Nosferatu, was I just said to myself, forget it, don't worry about how long it takes, just make it. And it was very therapeutic. The only thing about custom jobs is the stress factor of getting it right. I know. I'm actually facing that next week, because, again, this is a client commission. They're not a professional, at least I don't think they are. And there's not that much of a difference between like a professional job and like, a custom job for a client who's got, say, a YouTube channel or something, right? That's what I do a lot of. Of my custom work, a lot of it is smaller, like YouTube channels and things like that. I mean, some of you are probably in chat right now. I like that. I like that a lot, because it's part of the kind of mandate that I wanted for Operation Puppet, was to expand the genre, right? Bring more people in. It's one of the nice things about the internet is it allows people to do that kind of thing, right? So, and really there isn't much difference. Like I think about when I did the rebuild of Comfy, that took the better part of a week. And that was a lot of hand stitching, and that was a lot of like, I wouldn't have done that differently if I was doing it for, the Muppets or whatever. Like, I would have done the same way, and it would have ended up looking the same, right? I love selling puppets, but if I do, I don't think I'm going to go boutique style like you, but I mostly want to perform. Gives me joy. I have plans. I like to hear your plans. Yeah, I would love to perform more as well. I'm unfortunately, I talked about it before, I have a touch of arthritis. I cannot perform for long periods of time. Like a few minutes is about it. That's why I shoot things the way I do. I often need a lot of breaks, so I could never work professionally as a performer. There's some big companies that could care less, and some private, smaller clients making me run hoops. Yeah, you know, I've had a few of those. Thankfully, I've become pretty good at sniffing out the problem situations and just kind of going. I do pick and choose. If I do a custom job, which I don't do a lot of, I actually say no to a lot. Just because it doesn't fit my business model, and because I can tell, like, you know, you want a $300 thing that's going to take 68 labor hours. No, you know. And because I've set myself up for that, though, right? Because of the Etsy store, and because of, like, my whole thing is about trying to make things that are lower cost to bring more people in, to give people an on-ramp. That's the consequence of that, right? So I do pick and choose which ones I do, and the ones that I do, kind of, I make sure that people know this is the thing. So it's like, you want a custom small or something, yeah, absolutely, we can do that. If you want, like, oh, here's a drawing of a character, can you make this for $200? No. You know, well, yes, but no. Like when he's so more buddies, you know, I'm telling you, don't we all? I've misplaced my needle. There it is. The solution: have more money. Yes. Have you thought about just being rich? It's the conservative government's answer. Have you tried not being poor? All right, I'm going to finish this seam, and then I'm going to go get me some coffee. Because stay tuned for the exciting second half of the stream, where we do more hand sewing and talk philosophy for some reason. What's the William Gibson quote? She knew with cold mammalian certainty that the exceedingly rich aren't even remotely human. Always love that quote. We think we want to be rich. We don't want to be rich. Having enough money to live is different from being rich, right? Trust me, you don't want to be rich. If you any evidence about being rich is just look at rich people. Look at them. The hell is that? Any perception of reality is just gone. Having enough money to just like live and not suffer, that's different. That I would absolutely love. But rich, no. It changes your brain. It just changes your brain. You think you could have a handle on it, but you don't know until you get the money. Or at least try it out, yeah. I'd like to try, just to see, just a taste. That way lies madness, my friend. be 2 million. Yeah, sure, no problem. All right, I'm about done here. Just gonna tie it off. And I want to get some more coffee. I'm gonna put the Be Right Back screen up. You can enjoy listening to the chill beats. I will only be a minute. One rich person is Orange. I just got kicked out of New York. I know, huh? Throw a party, New York. All right, I will be right back. Don't go nowhere. Scarlet have to bounce. Yes, thank you, Monstrosity. I always forget to do that. Hey, hit like and subscribe, etc. Okay, I'll make you a promise now. I will try and make it so next week we're not just doing hand sewing for the entire stream. Next week should be, we're doing the werewolf small next week, so I will try and get the hand sewing part out of the way. There actually won't be a lot of hand sewing in that one anyway. And there will be interesting stuff with the features and everything for the werewolf small. So next week, hopefully the whole stream won't be hand sewing. So look forward to that. They hide it behind the live chat. I don't know. I don't think I've ever watched a stream on my phone. I guess it's an age thing or something. I don't know. I don't. I have been doing a lot more just sort of casual browsing on socials on my phone than I used to. But watching videos, I just don't. Sometimes I'll use my iPad, but phone's just too small. But so what I gotta do now is I gotta do the dart on the top of the head, then I gotta cut the mouth plate and sew the mouth plate in. So there's gonna be a lot more hand sewing. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. This is just the consequence of me doing a build stream and not tailoring what I'm doing to the build stream. That's what the build stream is. I will ask the client for permission to show the artwork. I'm sure they'll say yes, but I always like to make sure that I have permission first. But yeah, the artwork is really good. And it's the kind of thing I wouldn't normally say yes to because it is going to be a fair amount of extra work. But the artwork was just so and so very much in my wheelhouse that I'm like, I really want to give a crack at this. So I said yes, even though I may regret it. I guess we'll find out next week if I regret it. I usually watch live on my phone, but I'm on vacation. Nice. And thank you for spending part of your vacation watching this silly thing. I appreciate it. But yeah, when the so this is the same person who bought the Frankensmall from last year. So this is like an accompaniment to the Frankensmall, and it's so good. I hope the puppet will do the artwork justice. We'll have to see. I'm gonna make it clear to them, of course, that like, you know, concept art is concept art. The thing itself may have to deviate from the concept art. So, but I have an idea. I have not really a plan so much as a guiding principle to how I think I'm going to do it. I think I have all the materials I need. I certainly hope I do. It's a little late to order them now. Things in reality may vary from what they look like in your imagination. It's true. It's true and usually the case. Got to the point now, there's like 60 songs on this playlist. I've now got to the point where I'm recognizing some of them. But they don't cause copyright freakouts, so that's the only thing that is required of music on the internet. I think this goblin should have hair. I think I've only done one goblin small before. I may have done two. But that goblin did not have hair. So, I think to differentiate this goblin small from the previous goblin small, this one will have some hair. Other than that, I don't really have a plan for the features. I want to do like a nice big hook nose. That's a nice goblin-y thing. It looks good on smalls. The ears. I'm not quite sure what I want to do for the ears. I'm actually thinking it's kind of big and floppy. I should probably make that choice soon because that's kind of next after I've done this. Sometimes when it comes to features like that, I'll just start cutting out foam and seeing what I come up with. This is the advantage of doing it in carved foam rather than, say, you know, modeling something and then doing it on a 3D printer. When you're just carving foam, it's a lot more organic. You can just like make changes on the fly. I thumbed down the video because there wasn't a Danger Honey. Hey, I mean, there's Danger Honey in the background. Make it some nice Danger Honey right here. So there you go. You have to take back your thumbs down now. Do piñatas bounce? Well, at first. So, now I have to decide what color will the mouth lining be? Red or black? Red always looks kind of good with the green, aka Mr. the Frog. But I think I might do this one black. I like doing the thing you wouldn't necessarily expect. I think I'll do this one black. And also, if you do a black, you don't have to do a uvula throat thing. Agenda revealed. Just hit it with the red, yeah. All right, there is the darts all done. Onto the mouth plate. Plate is the wrong word for this. Mouth lining is the correct word. I keep saying mouth plate, but it's not. It's mouth lining. It is fabric. It's not a plate. That would be the worst plate of all. Oh, excuse me, standing up here. I gotta move some stuff. And if I were to switch to the top cam, you'd see my big stupid head in the shots. Here we go. Oh, wrong one. There's a nice view of the 3D printer that's sitting here doing nothing. You need to gender every puppet and blow up a small portion of the country before your house. No! No gender reveals on the puppets. These puppets are ungendered until their owner decides what the character is. That's my approach. Believe me, I have to resist the urge to constantly correct people whenever they say, you know, they see a puppet up on the Instagram or something and they go, "Oh, I love him." But hey, you do what you can do. All right, there is my template. Here is my coffee. Have you ever done an eye mech on a puppet with one eye like the Cyclops Mall? I have not, but I seriously considered it for the Cyclops Mall. It would be a bit weird, but I can probably see a way forward for doing that, particularly if I incorporate the 3D printer. So that's a very good question, and I think something that we should definitely do in the future. So I have not yet done it, but in all likelihood there will be one in the future and possibly the near future. Thank you for the question. That is a good point. Okay. Let me just trace our path. This is the very last of this old Ultra Suede. This is this little tiny scrap. And just getting in there with the last of it. There's enough for maybe another one of the small mouth plates on this. I got more. I've got other stuff, but the other Ultra Suede I've got has actually got a bit of a stretch to it. And it's a bit weird. I haven't used it yet, and I'm a little bit nervous about trying it. I want to make sure this just goes smoothly. So. There, and there. Always got to put your center lines in. Very, very helpful. Really good and give some good expression for that one big eye. You know, you're right, absolutely. I did actually, when I was putting together that the Cyclops small Clops, I thought about it. I was like, ooh, you know, I could probably do it. Nice eyebrow mech with this, but definitely for the future. That it is a very neat idea. I like it a lot. I'm just going to cut this out, trying to keep it in shot as much as possible. All right. So, wow, I wish you could have seen that. I kind of crumpled it up in a ball and I threw it at my shelf and it landed perfectly. If only I had the camera pointed there, but now you'll just have to believe me. It doesn't always work out, but sometimes it does. Something like a wood 3D filament. It's part wood and plastic. Would that work for wood mouth plates? Good question. I actually did wonder about that. I would actually be a little bit concerned about weight with that because I have learned through experience that sometimes the stuff you can make on a 3D printer can be a little too heavy. I had to work really hard to get the weight of the Nosferatu ears down to a point that I was comfortable with it. I actually got the kitchen scale out and weighed them and everything, and got the infill down to a point where I thought it was like okay. And I compared it to just foam, for example. And the reason that wood mouth plates work so well is because we usually use birch plywood, which is extremely light. And I don't know what kind of wood they would use in that weird filament. So I probably is the answer. However, what I have found, at least for 3D printing mouth plates, is the actual filament works. Like I've completely lost the plot. The normal stuff, just the regular, this stuff. What is this, PLA? PLA works great and takes the glue really well, and And so if you can get the weight down, then it works fine. Like the mouth plates for this small, as a matter of fact, here. This is the interiors, and this is a 3D printed on the printer with PLA, and they're great. And that takes the barge no problem. So yeah, it probably would work, but I would be concerned about weight. But if the regular PLA works just fine too. So something to, absolutely. It's a neat idea. I wouldn't mind getting someone just playing around with it just to see what you can make with it. But my point is, like, the reason that we use wood for a lot of mouth plates is because it's very light, it's very strong, and it takes the glue really well. That's the other thing, right? It's porous, so the barge will stick to it really well. But I have not had any problem with the PLA stuff either, because there is a bit of texture to it, right? Because of the striations and the layer lines, that actually helps with the glue. So that's a roundabout answer. But it will be neat to try. It will be neat to try to get some print a mouth plate just in PLA and just a mouth plate with the wood stuff, and then just weigh them and see what the difference is. Would 3D printed mouth plates work for larger mouth plates like you use the wood for? I think probably. It's a good question though, and I think worth trying and seeing what the weight difference is, because I don't know at the moment. For something this small, it really doesn't matter. But for something like you say, like it's larger, like for a Live Hands monster or something, that might actually matter. So that's when you want to get the infill down. These are relatively thick. I wanted to make sure that they would hold up, so I made them a little bit thick. I wouldn't make them quite that thick for something so big because, again, weight. Always weight should be your primary guiding concern. And every time you say, oh, it probably won't matter, it matters. So be very cautious with that kind of thing. I feel like wood filament is similar to wood laminate. Yeah, probably. And so it's not necessarily the wood that I would be concerned about in terms of weight there. It would be so is it PLA that it's suspended in? Is it like particles of wood suspended in PLA, or like what is it, right? That's if it's resin, or like who knows what that is, right? So again, the only way to know is to try it, but definitely worth a little experiment for sure. I'm just curious as to why there is wood filament in the first place. Like I wonder how it sands. Like, what? It seems weird. I at first thought it was just wood colored, right? But apparently not. Apparently it actually has like particles of wood suspended in it. If you printed wood, you might as well just use wood. Yeah. Well, the other side of that is like you may not have. Like I have a little like motor saw that I use for cutting out wood mouth plates, but you may not have this saw or a bandsaw or whatever, and also like the level of precision you can get. I'm very wobbly on my bandsaw or my moto saw, so the precision of the mouth plates that I print are way higher than anything that I can manually cut out. So there's also that, right? It depends on what you're looking for. Where is my black thread? There it is. Yeah, if you could sand and carve it, that would be amazing. I would suspect that you can't, just because it's in layers, because it's a 3D printed object, right? So I would suspect that it would end up coming apart. This is a guess, though. Who knows? Hi from Turkey. Nice. Welcome. Hello. Thank you. That's amazing. You see the power of the internet. It can be a force for good. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. I'm afraid you've joined us in a very unexciting part where I'm just sitting here hand sewing and we're talking about 3D printing. But this is all part of it. This is how it goes, you know. This is the exciting glamour of puppet building. It's a lot of this. But that's also nice. So this is the thing that Tom and I were talking about earlier. This is now me sewing in a fabric mouth lining. I'm doing the opposite of the fast way. This song has a bit of pep to it. It's a bit funky. From setting up the last podcast live stream, I listened to our theme music for the podcast so much. It's a good song. Jamie found that and licensed it. The song title is actually Funk Babe. And I suspect Jamie just searched for funk and went, this one. It is pretty funky in a good way. I mean, I could actually use that on this stream. We have a broadcast license for it, so you just want to hear Funk Babe over and over again on the build stream. There you go. Just keep sewing, yeah. I have a horror story about sewing. We're close to Halloween. I can tell a horror story about sewing. Y'all want to be grossed out? I apologize ahead of time. If you're watching the VOD and you're sensitive, you may want to skip ahead. I'm going to tell the story anyway. I was years and years and years ago, over 20 years ago. I was making a Star Wars fan film. That's a whole other subject we won't even go into. But a friend of mine, this is before I ever learned to sew. A friend of mine was sewing one of the costumes. And she didn't realize I was standing behind her, and I leaned over to see what she was doing. And she did what I'm doing here. She was doing this. Right? And punk into my eye. And it was the weirdest thing I have ever felt because it didn't hurt. And so, of course, the first reaction is for me to pull back and for her to try and pull it away. And so I was attached by a thread by my eye. Eventually, got it out, and it didn't hurt at all. It was weird, like there must be no pain receptors in there or something, but it just didn't hurt. It was the weirdest thing, and it was fine. But it was just the strangest sensation ever. So there you go. There's your Halloween horror story, your Halloween sewing horror story. Actually happened. Puppet power. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I just turned 55 last week. Look around. Puppets are ageless. right, that's the last horror story, I promise. I don't actually have any worse than that, so. At the time I got stitched to a costume by my eye is definitely up there. It was the whole it didn't hurt part that was just baffling. Like, that I should have been screaming. That should have been like the worst thing ever. I should be blind or something. No, it's fine. Eyes are remarkable. Okay, now I'm thinking about it. I'm getting all squirrely. Change the subject. How about them Muppets? Where are we at here? 12:43. Yeah, we'll probably end it real soon. I'll finish this thread and then we'll call it. It's a slow day. Y'all don't need to sit here watching me hand sew for no good reason. There's a saying in Turkish. If you get pricked by a needle while sewing, that stitch will be good for you. Nice. I like it. Also, that's a similar thing to what we used to say building computers. Every time you install a motherboard, there has to be a blood sacrifice. You gotta at some point you're gonna get cut. One of the little points on the bottom of the PCB will cut you, or something on the case will cut you, or there always has to be a blood sacrifice, and that's similar philosophy. I like it. Well done. Also seems to be like, you know what? It's just something there to make clumsy people feel better. Like me, But that's all right. Hey, clumsy people should feel better. I am living proof that you don't need to be dexterous to make puppets. I'm accident prone and clumsy all over the place. Ethan, hello. Yeah, we're gonna call it soon. So normally the streams are I don't know what time zone you're in, but they're from 11 to 1 p.m. Eastern. It's 12:45 right now, and all I'm doing is hand sewing, and I'm going to be hand sewing for at least another hour or so. So, I'm going to finish off this thread, and then we're going to call it. So it may go to 1 yet. But yeah, we're close enough to the end of it normally anyway. That, I will sometimes cut them short if there's just nothing, if it's just this. Good news, the VOD is always there. It's true. You're in Maryland, nice. Yeah, I'll still be on for a while. I'll still be here. Yeah, I'm not doing anything exciting, unfortunately. Next week should be more exciting. You may want to, if you can, get in on early on that one because we are building a werewolf. Small, one of these little ones. For which I have some very good concept art that I hope I'll be able to show you. I will ask my client. That I'm going to try and intentionally not make it so the whole stream is just me sitting here hand sewing. It's just the way it works out sometimes. Like I said, the build streams are just me doing what I would be doing with my daily work anyway, so this is the point at which there is a lot of hand sewing. sometimes, depending on the occasion, I may try and plan something special just for the build stream. And since next week I am doing a somewhat different and special build, we'll see if we can. My goal, I don't know if I'm gonna get there or not, but my goal for the next build stream will be to start doing the facial features on the werewolf. That's hopefully what we'll be doing on stream. Stay tuned. Have you ever thought of getting into animatronics? I thought about it. I'm not. So they're neat, but there's just not the style of puppet that I do. And I actually go light on mechs in general. I share BJ Geyer's philosophy that it is possible to over mech. And that once you start building mechs into a puppet, you tend to rely on those mechs a lot and you tend to overuse them. And they become the only thing about the puppet, whereas it should be more about the performance. And you know, a good puppeteer can take a puppet with no mechs and make that thing live. Kermit is a perfect example of that. And so that's where I tend to steer, is on like fewer mechs, simple mechs. Also because of my business model, it doesn't really support me being, you know, that elaborate with the mechs. So I just tend to go lighter on the mechs in general. It's a neat thing, and I really like the idea of it. And I've been looking at more sort of flexible ways of doing sort of mech type things since I got the 3D printer. So we may be getting into some more mech type stuff in a bit, like things like articulated fingers and things like I showed this off the other week. This is a print in place, this articulated finger. This we just printed on the 3D printer, and something like this can be adapted into a simple mech quite easily, with just a couple of elastic lines. And so there's a lot you can do simply, and that's kind of the thing, is I try to do things as simple as possible, for a whole bunch of reasons. Usually because the simplest way is the most reliable, it breaks less often, and is the fastest. So, you know, simple is always the best. But yeah, we'll probably be doing some more mech type stuff, but animatronics itself isn't really my field. So there's that. All right, we got 12:49. We're 10 minutes to our usual end anyway. I'm done that thread. We're gonna call it here because I'm hungry and I need lunch. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to the person from Turkey. Welcome. Hello. We do this every week on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, so whatever that is for you in Turkey, I have no idea. So I hope you can join us again. I hope you all can join us again. And as always, stay tuned to all the socials. Listen to the podcast because it is going on hiatus, so this is the perfect time to catch up on all the back catalog. There you go. They're at least 2 hours each, so there's a lot. There's 18 episodes of at least 2 hours each, so there's a lot there anyway. Yeah, anyway, so I'm getting distracted by chat again. I'm going to go and eat lunch. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned to all the socials. All the links are here as always, and thank you. And we will catch you, I hope, next week.